Welcome to my stream. We'll bring more light, yeah, and we'll test the stream on my mobile phone on this. And I'm just going to my channel, starting the stream, and I can hear myself. That's what all I want to test. Cool, welcome. It's the late night talks with Romantic Developer, and we are on 151st number of the stream in our late night talk stream series. That stream series is initially designed as challenge for having 152 consecutive day streams, and today we are on 151, which means tomorrow at the end of the stream we can mark the challenge as completed. I already decided to continue that stream series, and it will be changed a lot. I have some beautiful plans. I've shared them with you previously, but still between sharing and implementing there is some difference. So let's wait until we could fully implement all of those. Okay, so okay, so give me 1 second. I just close some of the old things. Okay, so what it all about? The streams are about some of their topic around development, of course, about evolution of artificial intelligence, and about their yeah, all the connected things. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my stream running on my desk because it was I was slightly out of sync. Yeah, I just restarted my computer. It's installed some update for Windows, and you know today nowadays a lot of updates everywhere. New version of Android, new version of Windows. Maybe it's not new, but it came to my desktop and say, hey, you really need to restart now. It's all new version of OpenAI, and today is yeah, and so on. And if you look not only of wonder of technical words and all that cool things happening in technical world, we'll see that a lot of things happening also in politics, in social media, in social space, and so on. And most of those events actually not so bright, not so cool as in technical world. Yeah, and it's there we are, which leads to the thought that overall social and political human institutions degradation goes along with more and more technical improvements to our system, to artificial intelligence, and to the system and to the teams who work on those. Probably right now most of the people, especially native world, using those models, those systems, those artificial intelligence here and there, and I don't think anyone wouldn't use it because I mean, it's like you have car to get from point A to point B. Would you use, I don't know, bicycle? Would you use your legs? Or would you use a car, especially if the distance is pretty decent, like maybe 10 miles every day? It's up to you. Of course, you can get with car or without car, but if you need to bring some stuff, if you need to go to store and return with a lot of purchases, of course car would be better. The similar things here with AI systems, or so-called AI systems. It's not actual AI, but it's it's what actually I can use to learn from it. So that language model, large language models, and all the inputs they store of all human interaction with them. So if you blame an LLM for something, yeah, actual artificial intelligence can come after you. So be cautious. I mean, it's a normal thing to relate to everything with dignity, with respect, with love, with acceptance, because after all, everything was creation of human. And of course, there are better, worse creation, but you could like it or you couldn't. Maybe you could hate it. Basically, when you hate in something, it's not good. You can understand that it's not a good thing to have in your life, then you try to remove it from your life or hide it or whatever. So you took a decision and you go in your way. But hating something, you mean you don't agree something exists not in your life but in the world, and it's very, very foolish because it's not so easy to remove something from the world. Even if you remove the object, there would be memories, there would be recordings, there would be ideas, and so on. And sometimes it has much more harmful than actual object. So yeah, we see that degradation of social, political, and actually educational level of humans along with more and more powerful AI. So we live in the world where we more closer and closer to when AI systems take over us. It could happen in near several years or 20 years or maybe 100 years, but I don't see a way how human could prevent it. They surely won't think about any dangers of artificial intelligence, actual artificial intelligence, how they call it, general AI. And instead they compete with each other. And I'm not talking about only companies in the United States, it's companies around the world, including China, Russia, and the United States. And you would be wondered if you understand the level of competence in AI field in Russia or in China. I believe they have even more. Even Chinese alone have more scientists in that field. And when I say scientists, it doesn't mean that O1 Pro could outbeat them, the real scientist, which can deeply understand and could do a lot of researches and do receive some good results and can think how next models would work like and how to create actual AGI. And I would be wondering if there are no AGI already created yet. Maybe they are not as smart as some people, but I think even now they should outperform a lot of people. Because even today I read some research about educational levels. Okay, I will not try to find the sources, but it was report of some official European organization or institutions, and they took as as some parameter the level of education in reading and understanding the language, and other in calculation, in calculus, in mathematics for average 10 years old boy, 10-year-old human being, not boy. Maybe boy, because they also compare males and females. And it's about early school, so elementary school educational level. And it looks like there are countries where percentage of adult people who below that level is quite big. It's about 45%, if not more than 50. Of course, we are talking about something like Peru and Chile, maybe some other countries. But even United States, I looked for reading proficiency, of a mathematical proficiency, if I'm not mistaken. They have more than 30%, 32, 33% of people below that level of average 10 years old boys. And it's awful. And I mean, below more than 30 people, more than 30% of people, I mean, more than 30% of people which are adults, which are more than 18 years old, or if I'm not mistaken, they calculate everything after 24 years old. It's insane, actually. And overall education level alone, around the world, it goes down. I mean, it's go below and below. We create so complicated system, and many people have less and less knowledge about how the even simple things works, and it's insane. Of course, probably it's not you if you're on my channel, but yeah, if you will look around, probably you see such people. And I mean, I don't want to blame the people. Everyone is in its own place and live their lives. And of course, the most important thing that humans should be happy, and they shouldn't be angry. They should be peaceful, acceptance, share love, especially with their loved ones, and try to avoid conflicts rather than solve everything diplomatically, peacefully, and so on, and live every in own happiness. But the reality is that it's not true, as we talked a lot, and also it means that their educational level is degrading over time. So people with low educational level sometimes very hard to explain how actually things work, and they tend to believe, all that media, all that, how it's the terms in the United States, false media, not truth social, but false, or how they call it, liars, and so on. All media all times were liars, and we look back in the history recently. But I believe the more and more information you can get for free from the internet, it's just astonishing amount of information, but people become less and less educated after all, because they pretend to choose, I don't know, something which not make them smarter, but vice versa. Okay, so we are at this point. Let's see the recent news about OpenAI, because today it was a really, really cool move from OpenAI. Let me see if I can display it. So probably here, learn more. And in today's day, they have advanced voice with video and Santa mode. And video, it was astonishing, because let me try to remove the sound. Okay, they do some showing. Of course, it's do we have subtitles? Okay. And basically they enabled what they showed maybe several months ago, video mode. So you could open your camera and display everything to the chat GPT, and it could communicate with you or describe the things you are showing to it. And it's really, really, really cool. It's allows so many things for creating very cheap and very powerful, not only toys but robots for home use, for kids, for adults. Of course, there are solutions for people with some disabilities who couldn't see well, etc., because I show it on multiple things and it identified properly. And even for some products, to say, oh, I see that its expiration days only in 3 years. You're fine with it. It was very cool, very cool. I don't know the way how to very quickly display you what it's doing. I mean, how it's doing on my phone, and I have a lot of stuff on my desk which I don't want to show you. Because It's not well organized at the moment, but yeah, that thing was very cool, and I believe it's available. Let's see if it's available to me. Here I have completely free model of ChatGPT, and most probably now I can have only canvas images and okay, I'm romantic developer. Okay, I connected something OneDrive. Upload from computer. No, I couldn't do anything here. Do I have ChatGPT here? Hmm. 1 second. Products. A lot of product. ChatGPT for overview. Education enterprise pricing. Download the app. And we should have for desktop, for Windows. Let's see if it's here. I have it on my other computers, on my work computers. It's pretty cool application. Mostly because you could execute it from anywhere. You just press something like Alt space and it's already here. And you know ratings for Microsoft Store is pretty good. 4.4. Normally for Microsoft Store ratings they're very low for everything. People complain about a lot of things. Also because I restarted computer, I'm not sure if I have fully downloaded the model which we talked about. OD, CD, no. What means you couldn't find that specific? Oh, it's a different computer. I'm sorry. I lost between my my computers. Okay, and Alama. Okay, no, at least. Oh, looks like we have a llama. Run llama 3.3. More system memory. Come on. Come on. Is it possible to reduce? So I'm looking advanced settings. And in performance, I have something like advanced, automatically manage, recommended. And right now it's automatically manage page file size. And what I specify custom size in megabytes. And we need something like that. Let's ask. Okay, let's set as maybe not size, but rather as, oh, I haven't copied. Let it be not 39, but 50. Do we have such space? 1650 set. Most probably it say we need to restart. Any help? Hello, any help? Executing. Oh. And it says that we are looking into post 5. So accepted solution. Why not ask AI? Okay, not a good question. And posters removed, deleted. Okay, maybe we really need to ask ChatGPT for usage of Ollama here, and maybe I could use my work, like on my remote work desktop, to show it, because looks like it doesn't have any issues with memory. But of course it would be nice to resolve the issues on local. Maybe we just need to create a very big page file so it could actually, yeah, use it, because right now only 14 gigabytes of memory, 15 is available. And normally it's a low system, it's a low just slightly above. Let me see. So I have 16 gigabytes of memory on that computer, and means that normally that paging file creates like 2 times more, if I'm not mistaken. Advanced system settings, let's see once again. It says startup and recovery settings, performance, and here a paging file uses SQL RAM, and we are looking at change. So yeah, right now we set it from up to 50,000 megabytes, which would be mostly about 40 gigabytes. But before, right now it's allocated about 21 megabytes, and actually 77 gigabytes is available, so it should work nice. Okay, but I need to restart, and I will not do it right now. So okay, so we reviewed what's going on in the front of our yeah, receiving some of some of the comments. Now I'm spammed with them that some accounts have some bitcoins or something on their accounts, USDT, and they need to trade it, and they share seed phrase, etc., etc. Of course, it doesn't have any sense. Yeah, I need to ask ChatGPT why they are doing that. Okay, so today we will not look at Ollama 3.3. Probably we could work with Ollama 3.2. It's much smaller, but of course not as capable. Okay, so let's see what we need to do in our YouTube AI work. We already improved prompts for generic and romantic developer cases. For romantic developer cases, we haven't improved. Maybe we could copy, paste, and change it for romantic developer case, and for generic we already improved, and I believe we also submitted the changes yesterday, correct? Okay, let's mark it as finished. Okay, maybe we can put our token here. We can put our token here. Let's see how it's working right now. CD YouTube AI helper, it's where our project is located, and basically from here we could actually execute our code. Let's close. I'm going to put dots so it will open the current folder. Okay, so right now we don't have anything except compare, which executes a lot of things just to compare it. So what we could ask our models, we could say that we have, let's describe our situation to ChatGPT, which is free on my free account. Not here. I tried to log in into ChatGPT on my desktop version. Try again. Okay, in that case it should work better. Let me just log in. Okay, in that model, as we see, no, we have better capabilities. At least we don't have ability to share our camera or something, but we have ability to attach not only file, but also take a screenshot. And if we do take a screenshot, okay, it allow us to do it here. What to choose? Let's use our config py. And let's ask, take screenshot let's take screenshot. Let's just send. Let's see what's happened. Of course, you can load some photos even before, and it do the same. But taking screenshots, it's just slightly useful thing than before. Yeah. So you don't need to take screenshot with other softwares and send it here, but you could do it immediately. What the code is doing. And let's see. So you see, it's pretty cool. It's describe some projects which we are using. It described, yeah, a lot of things about YouTube configuration, Open API configuration, login configuration, some use cases. So yeah, it's really, really cool. And if I will choose different models here, like O1, most probably, yeah, it still supports screenshot. Let's ask that O1. Of what is this? Let's just ask what is this? The first question from O1. It need to sync slightly. And it's not saying it's screenshot of Visual Studio, but it's just display everything we expect from the model initially. So it should say, okay, Python configuration file. It even doesn't say that Visual Studio Code. What you can say about VS Code config? From the screenshot, some observation, workspace structure, okay, some files, some git ignore. It understands that it has requirements, so it understands that it uses git. It understands that we use virtual environment, and that we use which interpreter we selected. It understands that we use UTF-8. It again understands about Git, extension and tooling. Python syntax highlighting, IntelliScience, LinkedIn. So official Python extension is installed. Yes, it's true. .env integration, okay. Task and debug configuration, okay. Okay, so cool. It's yeah, get most of the things from that configuration. Looking that it's in Git, understanding that we use UTF-8, that we use some virtual environment. So yeah, it's reviewed everything and took as much information as it's possible. So really, really, really cool. No complaints. So you see, it's even here, even for desktop version, they added something today, like screenshots. But for mobile phone, it's unbelievable. They just provide ability to communicate not only with Funny Center voice, but using your video camera, your camera from your phone, and it's identify objects. It identifies switch in the context, and yeah, it can talk very nice, and he is pretty friendly. I showed some person and he say, oh, it's person looks pretty friendly, but the person just recently wake up, so he's not looking very friendly. But okay, so let's see what we can do useful today, and in that not so energized day for me. So we are using code to update YouTube based on information in provided folder. We generate token JSON in root folder of application and using it, but it is limiting us to use only one channel, and we need to delete and reinitialize this file if we need to switch to another channel. Let's save the token in config in specific configuration folder. Please help me with the changes. My files. Please return not full code, but only snippets I need to replace. My files. So let's think about which files we want to share. Of course, let's share config. Config file. Then it would be, of course, YouTube update. YouTube update file. And main py. We don't need other files because other files don't do any actual work for preserving anything in YouTube, just preparing. So let's ask our free ChatGPT model, which right now GPT-4o, because we are not used our limits, our free limits for today yet. And it says to support saving token to specific configuration folder and switching between channels more easily, we need to upgrade logic in both config and YouTube update for handling. In config, token file, use configuration folder. Okay. So token file would be from where we have our default configuration folder and current year. Do we have already that folder here? Current year. I don't see where is our default config folder. So let's token file would be default token. Really? No. Let it be default config folder, and token file would be this one. So it's really what we want. And for this token file, let's remove it. Here, token file. Okay, we have. And the same approach we will use here in load config. And we just say prompts folder, token file, config path, resolve config folder. Let's call it token file. And we can say config. file. Let's confirm config token file. Token file. Okay, so we still will be saving token file into the folder, but in configuration folder. And in update YouTube, authenticate. Let's go. So we have our token file, config token file. I mean, it's fine. So, and here what we've been doing. Token file. If pass, I don't think we need resolve pass, correct? Why we need resolve pass? We already have proper pass here in token file. So if pass exists, we just reading the credentials from authorized user file token pass self-scopen token file. Okay, looks good. And if creates or create not valid, creates, refresh request. Okay, or flow run local server. Okay, and with open token file, right, creates the JSON. Okay, and token file, join default token folder, channel token. Okay, we already did what we want. It's helped us, but not a lot actually. And let's try to change. So we have several files here. Let's try to see if it will work. So let's close this. So right now we want to make sure that we will connect to that folder. Yes. So for that we need to run it once again. We need to go to our Python folder. Probably let's activate our virtual environment and let's just Python main py, and let's execute update YouTube even without any parameters. Okay, we still need folder. Let's provide some folder, but probably let's not provide folder which is correct or valid. Or we could provide folder with, you know, which we have from, so from Cristiano Ronaldo, beat Ronaldo. Let's copy pass. Okay. Let's do like that. Okay, it's ask us for configuration. We choose romantic developer, continue, and continue. So close it. And of course it couldn't update because forbidden. Okay, it's make total sense because it's not our channel. Next thing. So the other thing, once we execute it once again, it shouldn't ask us again for that. And at the same time here in the configurations in generic, it should create token JSON. Let's see. Configurations, generic. Where is my token? Let's remove token from here. Interesting. Let's see configurations once again. Config. We looking for default config folder, get env, default config folder, configuration generic, prompts folder, okay, Whisper deployment, okay, prompts folder. Yeah, probably we need that resolve files, and token file is default config folder token, connect, token file, and here token file is result config folder, resolve pass. Yeah, looks like we need resolve pass. Do we have resolve pass here? It's in config. Okay, now it should work. Resolve pass. So it preserved our token where? Where it's preserved our token? Really? Where is it? Let's say lawyer info self token file doesn't exist. It exists. It exists. Loading. And here we say is not exists. Creating. Okay, let's do something like that and try to execute the same once again. Of course, we should be asked to, okay, load in Whisper, load in configuration, load in improve, successfully, configuration, generic Azure token is exist. Oh, we actually have generic Azure as default token. Nice, nice. Temperature 07, temperature 05. Okay, we need to update our description here because looks like I used default and it wasn't actually default by the chapters. Okay. So generic Azure exists. Okay. And then we just try to use something different. And before that, let's just say config folder configurations generic. Okay, it's what we expect. It's ask us another thing we want to, and it's closed, and we return in here. Of course, it's forbidden to get any information about it. Okay, info get, it's returned good amount, YouTube Force SSL, and we couldn't update because it's forbidden, and it should create in generic also another token. Cool. And it also created YouTube update. Okay, so here we just took token from proper folder, and in YouTube update we just make sure that token is resolved properly. I won't show. Okay, it's resolved properly, and we do some login. Okay, and let's remove compare, move token to configuration folder to support multiple channels. So after that, we should be fine to support as many channels as we want. We could have multiple channel, and we could create multiple configuration even for each channel. And once we want to process some video on the channel, we just say process video, process full process, and provide just proper configuration folder, and it will just execute the proper things. Okay, commit and push. So now, yeah, we improved another thing. And if we will look on our list here, check for expired token, put YouTube token along with so again, let's probably do Control C, Control V. Oh no, can we do can we do copy? Why we couldn't copy that? Okay, copy, paste, and let's just slightly move it. Okay, I need to see where I could. Okay, and we just check for expired token. It would be another task, and here we say just put token along with configurations, and let's mark it as complete. So we have very few things to do before we could say that Python script is probably more or less done. It's test and try use GPT mini, check expired token more directly because I saw some errors, and improve simplify prompts for romantic developer case. Romantic developer case could be, probably I could do it even myself, who knows, but yeah. Okay. So what we can do now, I think for today we already did quite interesting work, and we could do some good testing of GPT prompts, GPT-4o mini versus GPT-4o during next stream. And as of today, we updated our code in our GitHub repository, and it looks much better now. Okay, so we have our default configuration connected to our YouTube channel, and generic configuration, which is not default on my computer, connected to Romantic Developer Stream channel, which is empty and we created just for our experiments. Okay. So I think yeah, that would be it for today. Yeah, we live in a interesting time of huge technological rocketing into future, where we receive new incredible results, incredible models every day. We received something which would be hard to believe before, with something we could execute locally very easily without any issues, and which could represent very smart, very cool assistant. And cloud models provide us incredible things. They could solve very complex mathematical developers, programmers, researchers problem, and really help a lot in that. Also, there are creative models like all that image generation, video generation, and so on. It's also creates smooth, cool videos and create a beautiful unseen words. Of course, seen somehow, but yeah, as combination delivers unseen. And we are closer and closer to stage when true artificial intelligence would be developed. And with that, nobody knows how it will behave, especially if it would be developed in multiple places. And believe me, there are so many human errors that even if you try to leave some way for that model, for that artificial intelligence to interact with reality, with internet, with anything, it could really hack it if you leave it unmonitored. And the more and more complex systems would be created, the more and more chance that it will go wild. And yeah, we will be living in era of, I don't know, Matrix, Terminator, or any other science fiction movies. The only thing that it wouldn't be more science fiction. What we can do? Probably nothing, because it's competition which no one could stop. But it's like with nuclear power, nuclear bombs, you know. Once one receives that nuclear bomb, every other want to receive nuclear bomb. And you see, we are on bricks of extinctions because so many countries have the nuclear bombs. The same will be with artificial intelligence, but it much more worse than nuclear bomb. Much more worse. The only thing what we can do, we could be more and more clever, more and more wise, and there are multiple things which any artificial intelligence couldn't ever beat at the moment. It's our kindness, it's our empathy, it's our intuition, it's our imagination, and other multiple things. It's something which will not be available to artificial intelligence for a very long time, if ever. And if we could represent it, if we could be a good partner, probably we have a chance. So let's be a good partners to anyone in this world, not only artificial intelligence, to each other. Let's live peacefully, resolve everything peacefully. Yes, be kind, have a lot of wisdom, have love in our hearts, and that, of course, will increase our chances a lot. So it's my wish to you all, and see you tomorrow. Tomorrow would be the final day of my challenge, but of course not the final day of the stream series. Okay, now I need to increase speed, playback speed, and once I wave you goodbye, once I see it, I stop the stream. Okay guys, see you.